Okay everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video on Gran Turismo 7. Today we're going to be taking on a race from every single daily race that has gone live this week. So we're going to start off with actually daily race B at Brands Hatch, and I decided to set a lap time that was pretty much in the midfield. I didn't want to start at the front, we didn't want to start right at the back, and yes, we're in the Supra for this race. It's on racing hard tyres, it's 5 laps at Brands Hatch, and very likely possible chaos in this combination. We've got GTR at the front there. We know that he can be hit and miss, whether he drives fair or whether he just causes absolute chaos. So going into turn 1, just trying to get this corner lined up with the curb so you can get on that throttle nice and early. And yeah, everyone seems to be okay at the moment going into the first major braking zone, and it all looks fairly okay at the moment. No real incidents going off, it's fairly comfortable. And you can see in front of us we've got the Mazda that, in my opinion, let me know what you think. I think that car might need a little bit of a power nerf, because you'll see in a minute as we get on the acceleration, this car just has abnormal accelerating ability. Let me know what you think in the comment section about the Mazda, whether you think it should be nerfed. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. But you can see straight away, look at that Mazda pulling away. We're in the slipstream, and that Mazda is like a rocket ship down the straight, so it definitely needs a little bit of power taken off of that car, or weight adding. Something needs to be done to that car to slow it down. But at the moment we're staying with these. You can see getting a nice run on the outside there, nearly losing control though on the curb, just about managing to save it. And now we're going to go into this right hand corner, tricky right hand corner of Brands Hatch. You have to be very careful you don't get the left hand tyres onto the grass and lose control. Obviously in a front wheel drive Mazda, like the car in front, he's okay getting on that grass a little bit, he's not going to lose control. So now into the final corner, we can see a little bit of chaos developing. We've got a few 2 wides, possible 3 wide situations going on. And yeah, we had to kind of lift out the throttle there because we would have gone straight into the back of the Mazda. But you can see, going into turn 1 now, we've got a lot of cars side by side. And as we come through here, there seems to be a car that's absolutely sent it up ahead. You can see a little bit of contact there, car push wide. He's going to get a penalty for running wide off the track, I think. And then we've got Ark going really slow. We're going to go up the inside, brake early, but a car behind us just completely misses his brakes. Don't think it was deliberate. It's just one of them things when you're going into a braking zone, he just missed his brakes and went straight into the back of us and caused a little bit of chaos there. But yeah, we'll have a little look at that as we go through this left hand. You can see we've still got damage on the front and rear, but we've got away from that chaos behind us. So let's have a little look at what started off all that chaos into that corner. And you've probably guessed who it is who caused the initial starting of the chaos. Yes, it was GTR. We watch on board with Ark now. We've got the Mazda in front of us that we know is accelerating just impossible to keep up with. So going into the braking zone, he just comes off, keep an eye on his braking input, so he brakes and then comes off the brakes and then just lets his car roll into the 2 cars on the left, hits them, causes all kind of chaos. And then we're going to go down the right, but you'll see the Mazda come up behind us now, straight into the back of us, and then it's pinball physics, all about pinball physics on Gran Turismo. We'll have a little watch from the Mazda's view. We can see there as Arks just knocked his way through, and then you can see me in front. We go to the right hand side, and then he follows us, but just doesn't brake early enough and just goes straight into the back of us. He gets front end damage, but no penalty. Maybe should have done, but it was definitely a mistake. It was just a racing incident, he just didn't get on the brakes quick enough. So luckily for us, though, we're up to P4 in this daily race B straight away there through basically chaos. But we can see now we've got the driver in P2 with a penalty. We've got the Spanish driver in front of us there. We're going to have a little look up the inside, but no, we're going to think better of that one and back out of this and wait for our time to try and get P2. You can see P1 is well and truly gone. We're not going to be able to catch P1 up after that chaos, but we can maybe fight for P2 here. So as we come through here, we know that he's got a penalty, so we're going to compromise the entry into this corner for the Spanish driver, and then go down the left hand side onto the power, give him space on the outside. We know that P2 is now going to take a penalty, and that's going to be 2 cars in pretty much 1 corner. And now into the final corner, just got to get a nice exit off here. We can see a bit of chaos behind us in the mirror there. It looks like Ark's just knocked a driver off again. I think possibly Ark just gave a little tap to the Spanish driver and he's off into the grass, and that's also up to P2, and you can see the gap's already started to increase. So all we've got to do now is drive it smooth, and we should be able to come away with a pretty solid P2. So yeah, chaos at the start of Brands Hatch. This race has got a lot of potential for chaos because it's only 5 laps. People want to make positions up, and that's the way it goes. So skipping to the last lap, we managed to pull that lead out over 3 seconds to Ark, and you can see we currently had the fastest lap, but the last lap started to get in the rhythm with this Supra. We actually managed to go over the line with pretty solid 1:30.4 in the race pace, which, yeah, not a bad lap for the race. and it's not a bad lap for our first proper race with the Super anyway, so pretty happy with that. Up to P2, bit of chaos at the start, but let's go on to Daily Race C now. The main race of the week in general, Daily Race C, normally. This week we've got 10 laps, times 6 tyre wear, times 2 fuel. Now the problem with this week for me is it's a good track, it's a good combo, but it's the Genesis. One, it's the Genesis being massively overpowered because of setups, and two, the time multiplier just doesn't really cause much of a strategy. You either pit lap 1 or you pit lap 9. You do 1 lap on the mediums and that's it. There's no real loss of grip from these tyres, so maybe could have had 1 extra lap, put it to 11 laps and then times 7 tyre wear, and might have made this race quite interesting with different strategies. So yeah, a little bit of tweaking with the settings from PD and this could have been an absolute belter. It's still a good combination, it's good fun. I've enjoyed races here this week, but again, it's a Genesis. We need to do something about this Genesis with the BOP because every single week with setups on, it's a Genesis. Maybe start going back to more races without setups on, and default setup would be an answer as well, having 50-50 split. But you can see lap 1, coming to the end of lap 1 now, we're still in P4 and we're on the medium tyres. We're going to go off into the pits now and get the soft tyres on from this point. You can see that P2 there has actually stayed out. Now I expected all the cars in front of me to pretty much be on the soft tyres, so unfortunately this means we're going to have to get past them and try and pull a gap because we don't want to lose too much time. Now we did know that in previous races we were gaining on these drivers from the back of the grid. This is where we had decided to set a lap time around, I was trying to be about P7, P8, but unfortunately it put us to P4 on the grid. So yeah, we're going to have to try and get past Dino and also Liam in P8 there at the moment because other cars have not pitted. A lot of cars have stayed out, so that's the advantage of this strategy. Sometimes if you stay out on the soft tyres and start on the soft, it can actually work out quite nice because the group of cars pit on the medium and then you get a nice clean run through the field. But yeah, I think that extra times 1, you know, times 7 tyre wear and having 11 laps could have made this like at least 3 laps, maybe 3 or 4 laps on the mediums, and I think that would have made this race a lot more interesting. But you can see now we're getting a nice slipstream from Dino in front of us, and hopefully we're going to be able to go for a move in the braking zone. He's not actually going to defend it, and he's actually going to just go, let's go up the inside there, slowing it down nicely and up into P9 now. So solid move, not too bad there. Dino didn't really fight. I think he just wanted to work with us and probably try and get towards the front as quick as possible because you don't really want to fight too much, but if you think you're faster then you're obviously going to want to get past. And now we've got to try and catch up to Liam ahead of us there and into the braking zone, brake down to first gear, rotation went in a little bit deep there, and that's going to compromise the exit slightly as you see the rear getting a little bit loose. So we're going to skip a little bit further on into lap 4 now, and you can see again we've got that slipstream a little bit too far away to go for a move there, but we're definitely getting closer and starting to look to see where we can go for an overtake. So just trying to put some pressure on now and seeing if we can go for a move somewhere. So into this very tricky, this corner is all about getting the braking point there spot on so you can trail brake it in. You can see I went a little bit deep there, which has compromised our entry a bit, but we're going to get onto that first and second and third gear. At this point I was going third gear there. Actually technically I think it's better to do second gear on that exit, but you can see Liam making a mistake there. We're going to try and go around the outside now and hang it round, but just not enough grip on that outside, nearly into the barrier, just about stopping ourselves from hitting that barrier. And now we're going to see if we can make momentum up this straight. You can see going to the right hand side, can we go around the outside? We're going to try and tuck back underneath and have a look down the left, but he's going to cover that, and now we're going to try and go a little bit deep and then go around the outside. A little bit of contact on the entry into the corner, which just stops us with the momentum, and then we're going to tuck back under and behind him. So you can see we're up to P6 now, where obviously some drivers have pitted doing some different types of strategies. Not too sure, maybe they're not sure about how many laps you could do on the soft, but yeah, they did too many laps on the mediums I think there. And now into the final braking zone for the final straight. Now this is another opportunity to try and get a good exit off this corner and go for a move, but again a little bit of rear action on the car, that's going to stop us from going for the overtake. So again, skipping to lap 5, you can see right up behind again through this section. Very difficult section to follow another car through here. It's all about just trying to get it nice and smooth. He makes a little bit of a mistake there. We're going to have to go defensive. We're going to stay to the right and try and give ourselves a nice exit off this corner. So onto the throttle, you can see a really good exit there, and then down the left hand side we're going to put our car to the left now and just see if we can just compromise his entry into this corner slightly so that he just can't really get the exit speed. You can see right up behind now, really we want to be a bit further back actually from this point so that we get a bit of slipstream. So going to the right, then tucking back in, getting a bit of 6th gear slipstream, and now we're going to try and go around the outside. Can we brake late enough into the braking zone, braking as late as we can on the 100 board, down to 2nd gear, letting that second gear rotate us, and then using second gear on the throttle there, and up into third gear, and a very nice move around the outside of turn 1. Brilliant move there, nice and clean, respectful driving from both, and yes, nice position gain. So now we've just got to push and see if we can get away. We can see now behind us, Dino and Liam are starting to battle. They're sending it to each other, and that's good for me, because that's giving me some clean air to just pull away, and now hopefully do some nice clean laps and set some faster lap times as well, because we were getting a little bit held up in that battle there. So yeah, we're going to skip a little bit further on into the race, and you can see at the end of lap 6 we're about to do a much better lap, 39.3, so fastest lap of the race. And from this point we managed to drive some very consistent laps. You can see there 39.1, 39.1. Now the tyres are starting to fade though on this lap as I'm going to go over the line to start the final lap there. You can see down to 39.6, but yeah, mainly because of the tyres. You can see the fade, but there's 2 very good 39.1s in there, and that was good enough to put us into the lead of the race and ahead of Olive there. And you can see quite a comfortable gap. We got 2 seconds in the lead from starting from P4, so a nice run over the line for the victory. And yeah, a very nice victory from P4 there. Enjoyed that race. There's been quite a few decent little races here, but again, I do think the PD could have made that strategy element a little bit more important and a little bit more enjoyable. And yet, the Genesis does seem to be ruining Daily Race C in my opinion. But this week, Daily Race A is an absolute belter. We've got the same cars from last week's Daily Race C, road cars pre-tuned to Gran Turismo settings, and there seems to be a little bit more variety with cars that you can use, and it is a lot of fun. We've got the Supra, we've got the LFA, we've got the Porsche. Some people have been trying the Jaguar. It's actually really interesting, and around Nordschleife, very difficult track. Obviously we've got the slipstream on that very strong setting again, so you can follow, but it's very difficult through the fast corners if you've got a massive slipstream, because you're going so quick. You have to be braking extremely early. So starting to get a little bit more used to this race now that we've done it a few more times, but still a lot of pace to find and understand where we can push in these road cars around Nordschleife. But yeah, another brilliant combo. I'm liking these races from PD. I do think they're making some good decisions with these. Trial Mountain was a good one. It's just a shame that it was pretty much just 2 cars available, but this Nordschleife race definitely seems a little bit more divided with the cars that you use, because you want that slipstream pace for that end of straight battle. As long as you stay in the slip, there's certain cars that are extremely strong at the end on the straight. So yeah, the BMW here isn't really the car, because at the end of the straight it completely dies. It just doesn't have the speed in the slipstream. The LFA does, Jaguar XJ220 does. I think the Porsche is better than the BMW also. So yeah, interesting race this week. I'm loving this combo. I think it's a good Daily Race A. There's no DR on this, it's just SR that's on, so you will lose SR if you don't drive sensible. As you can see at the moment, everyone being fairly sensible in this race, and it's all going okay. You can see we're getting very close to P3 there for the podium position. We've got the Supra behind us. The Supra seems to be the best car, I think, overall for this combo. I'm not sure it's the best car in the slipstream for the back straight. I'm not too sure about that, but overall it seems to be the better car that most people are using if you want to try and go for that win. But there is other cars that you can use and compete with on this combo, especially due to the slipstream. But the Porsche in front of us there, we're going to try and see if we can get as close as we can in this LFA. The LFA drives really nicely here, because obviously with Trial Mountain it was really good through the fast corners. So obviously this track is going to fit this car very nicely, and it does. It works a treat round here. As we have a little look up the inside, we're going to try and go for a send down to second gear, up onto the curb, a little bit of a drift, side-by-side action there as we're just about trying to control the car, still side-by-side, and we're going to have to back out of that one though, because we can't go side-by-side from this corner, because if we try that, we both end up in the barrier. So backed out of that one, and now going through this long right-hand corner, just making sure that we don't go onto the grass on the left. See the Supra having a little look up the inside, but a little bit too late. And you can see that behind us, Damien in the BMW does an extremely nice move there up the inside, and the Supra loses 3 positions in one corner because he just gets absolutely mugged by everyone as they go through the corner. So disappointing corner for the Supra there, but that's what happens if one car goes for a move. Everyone's going to try and take that position also. So now we've got Damien behind us, and we're going to try and see if he'll work with us, if we can get past this portion in front of us. So you can see he's going to give us a little bump draft here, which is going to boost up speed on this straight. You can see that is the advantage, a little bump draft and the slipstream, and you should get a nice run on the car. We're going to have a little look up the inside, brake as late as we can into the corner, down to second gear, let the car rotate, and that is a nice move up into the podium position. So we're going to go over to Damien there, because I know that Damien's going to probably bump draft us, because he'll want to try and capture that group up in the lead of the race. And you can see they're getting a nice bump off Damien all the way up this straight, and that's going to help us catch up to the top group. Just look at the extra speed you get from working together. and we're gaining on that lead group. You can see we've got the Super in front of us, and just look how quickly we are catching up to the LFA and the Super there. Insane speed because of the bump drafting. And now we just got to be careful into this corner. I'm not quite sure how fast we can send it through here in the LFA, just about keep it on there. And now we're going to just try and stay with the cars in front as much as we can. Like I said, I think this was one of our early races with the LFA, just trying to get used to it and trying to figure out how much speed we can take, as the Sasha there goes very wide into the corner before the carousel. And now we're going to see if we can catch up and stay with them all the way through there. You can see that we did drop off a little bit though, didn't quite hang in that slipstream. We're just about in it. It's around 1.8 seconds or something like that. It's actually nearly up to 2 seconds. It's very weak at the 2 second mark, but you can see we're still around 1.2, so we just got to try and stay with him all the way through these final corners. You can see Damien having a big moment in the mirror there, just about saving it. And now we're going to go onto that back straight where the LFA should be very, very good. And the BMW will be good at the early part of it, but it will lose massively on the back end of the straight. So as we get onto the straight now, you can see getting into the slipstream with the LFA in front of us. See Damien in the slipstream now is going to give us a nice bump off, but actually gives us a bit of damage because of the speed difference. You can see there a big chunk of damage on our rear, which I wasn't aware of at the time. So we had damage on the car here, which was going to lose it. As soon as we pull out of the slipstream, it's going to lose the speed. You can see we pull out the slipstream, back over to the left, and you're going to see everyone just start catching us up because our car just doesn't have the straight line speed because of that damage on the rear. If you get rear damage, it really affects your top speed. We're going to try and get into the slipstream of P2 though, to see if we can go for a move into the final corner. Now this is going to be tricky. Our damage repairs just before the corner, I think here. It just repairs as we get on the brakes, and unfortunately, my mistake, 100% missed my braking, so we come off the throttle and we're not going to try and overtake him. We're going to make sure he keeps that position, and at least he gains one position. You can see there, he goes around the outside, and I think Sasha actually backs out and lets him take that position also, after it wasn't his fault that he lost it. So good sportsmanship there from Sasha also. But yeah, we couldn't really try and overtake him after that. We missed our brakes, my fault, we hit him. But overall, good race. At least there's no DR on this race. It's all about having fun. Just try not to lose SR at the same time. Luckily, we didn't lose SR in that race. But yeah, a good week of racing. Overall, I think it's good variety. Daily C definitely could be better, but I think it's a pretty solid week. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll be back with more videos in the future. Thanks again for watching, everyone.